And we should be... The button has been pressed and clicked, and it is now pressed in, and we should be recording. Hello, and welcome back to Shiny Boys session 61, I believe. It'll either be the... Is that correct? Is that the correct session number? I think it should be. Because I think my notes...
Yeah, 61.
Yeah.
Yep, that's correct.
Cool. Alright, I think this will... Okay. The warning in advance, this is going to be either the second last session or the third from last session, I think, depending on how things go. I don't know how chaotic things might get, but I think that's roughly where we're at, so just a heads up. But I'll let you know everything going on with the last session once we actually get to the super important stuff. But with that out of the way, do we remember who did recap last time? It might have been a little while ago.
That was me.
Okay, in that case, it will be Lily this time. In the rotational order.
Lily, you're doing the recap.
Let me just check my notes real quick.
Okay. I can try pop in and help with anything if there's any important stuff, but I think I remember the general gist of what went down.
I actually don't think I have any notes from last session. But basically, from what I remember, we broke in to we think is Calarel and Zeph's base. We swam down, we broke open one of the walls, managed to hack our way, stopped the water coming in, and then we entered the base. And we walked straight into what we think was like a booby trap, but we managed to circumnavigate that. And we've just crossed over that and we're continuing the path.
I think that's pretty much what happened. I think you're all inside and ready to continue on. So, with that out of the way, this is session 61 today.
Okay, I missed 2 seconds.
Yeah. Alright, so with that, you're all together. Now, with the party, I'm pretty sure as far as NPCs are concerned, I think you have Avarice with you, and you've got Tamar, and I think Alaria is there as well. Valentina is not.
Correct.
Okay. So with that venturing party, you head on through the door that lies before you. Well, or do you, actually? There's a door that lies before you, you're on the other side, and you're chilling currently. You get a feel for about how long it's been. It feels like it's maybe around early afternoon now with everything that's gone down, so you still have a lot of time left in the day, although you will be underground now, so your internal sense of what time it will be, it will kind of depend on what kind of checks you decide to do throughout. But after a certain amount of time, if you just don't sleep for a real long period of time, then exhaustion will hit. But you'll kind of get a feeling that you're getting tired before then.
Okay. I mean, Claw's heading up.
Okay. Tamara looks at you as well, and then looks at the door. Should we inspect it at all?
I would say that would be wise, yeah.
Fine. I'm going to roll an investigation check.
Right.
Can I assist? Or we all do it?
Up to you guys. How would you like to do it? You can assist if you like.
If you assist me, I can roll it again, but...
Okay.
Go ahead and roll it again.
Got 12 with Jay.
16.
16 with Core. Alright, you're all
17.
17? Alright, you're all given this door a little bit of a look. You're investigating to see if there's any signs of anything nefarious going on behind the scenes. And as far as you can tell from your investigation check, it doesn't seem like there's any protrusions that might indicate some sort of trap beyond the door, or that the door is anything other than just a regular door. But it looks quite fortified, like it might take a bit of pushing to get through. Not so much like the door that you went through earlier that was kind of being squashed by water, but it looks pretty sturdy. Like, it also might make a noise if you do try to go through, I guess. You would get that from your investigation check, just in general. But outside that, it doesn't look like it's trapped in any sort of way.
Jay, can you do any silence?
Can I make the door quiet?
Yeah. I'm not very good at being quiet, so I'm going to leave that to
you. Oh, I see what you... See how you... I can either try and sleight of hand it open quietly, or I can give everybody a... But I think I might wait on Pass Without a Trace until we're... I suppose it's an hour.
If we're trying to
infiltrate... I think I want to do Pass Without a Trace after I do the door, because I don't want to break...
Okay. I think also at this point, while you're all investigating the door, Avarice would walk up. and look through the door. I do have something that might be of assistance, if you'd like. And he pulls out.
What would that be?
I have something that I can use to...
But you're full of uses.
So say again, Jade.
You're full of uses.
He looks at you. Can he? Okay, he's going to do an insight check, I think. He's going to try to insight you. How much will a 17 get Avarice on that?
Jade is paying Avros a compliment. You think?
He thinks, okay. He smirks at you, but there's a tinge of uncertainty to it. Like, he's not quite sure that he understands what you're saying, but he thinks that you're giving a compliment, and he puffs out his chest a little bit, like a bird or something in the wild.
Alright, Avros, get over it. What can you do?
I have some cologne, which I think I could use to lubricate the hinges of the door a little bit.
That is not how cologne work. It's sticky, not the greasy.
Is it oil based?
How do I check that?
Core, I think you might have something that's a bit more useful to lubricate these hinges.
Core starts going through his bag.
Alright, Cor, what do you have?
I pass Jade a covered package.
I lubricate the hinges.
Okay. Use some...
-1 lubricant.
-1 lubricant. Make sure you remove that from your inventory. Use it to lubricate the hinges on the door. And who is the one who's going to be the lucky person to attempt to open this lubricated door?
I will hand it open because I have big.
Go for it.
Actually, hang on. Let me just read.
This is a bit...
Baelen's not over it.
We're already onto such a...
Fucking wheezing.
It's like such
So
an ordinary, mundane activity. It's so bizarre as well at the same time.
We lubed the door open.
It's going to be 16.
Okay. With your roll, you're careful, you're agile, you're stealthy. And you do your best to make sure that you open the door carefully enough to see if it is going to make any sort of noise, that you're ready to react in time without alerting anybody.
Also, just to put it out there, it wasn't just the phrasing, it was the follow-up phrasing of a covered package.
You don't know what he gave Jade.
A sheet.
It's Schrodinger's lubricant. It could have come from anything. We don't know. For all we know, it's a covered package. But
Yeah.
WD-40.
it could be. It could be. You know? Maybe Tamar has a motorbike that needs lubricating occasionally.
Yeah.
You know? Or a bicycle.
Smells got a motor, if you know.
Jade, what?
Jade says out loud.
Also, part of it is cutting out, but I got the gist of it.
God. I've been recording for 8 minutes. Okay, alright.
I'm already crying.
We're in the same room. We haven't moved. We're opening a door.
Through all 3 more sessions, Thomas, I think you meant more like 17.
I forgot. Okay, so as you use the WD-40 to lubricate the hinges of the door, Jade, you begin to pry it open quite carefully. As you pull the door, you're listening carefully and ready to react just in case it makes any sort of squeaking noise. And as you pull it slowly and slowly, do you peek around the door as well while you're opening it, or are you just opening it kind of silently, not showing yourself?
I peek around the door under Jade's arm.
Okay, Jade, you're taking care of the door. Core, you're doing a little bit of a sneaky peek. As you open the door, it does not make a sound. It opens smoothly, swiftly.
The smell of strawberry wafts through the air. You don't know why.
Jade says, very well lubricated.
Tamar sniffs the air. This door smells oddly familiar all of a sudden. Core, as you peek, I want you to roll for me a perception check.
Yep. I could do that. Not great. 5.
5. Okay, it's a vantage point that you're hiding behind the door. You're trying to remain stealthy, so maybe that's.
My eye.
No.
As you look around, you take in the surroundings beyond the door, and you see that it is quite dark, not very well lit. The light coming into the room is all the light coming in from behind you. The lit room that you're in currently, where the dim light bouncing off the walls is kind of bouncing off into the room, is all that's lighting it currently. As you look in, all you see beyond you is a small closet-sized room with library-like bookshelves on all sides that stretch up to the ceiling and to the floor, and there's nothing else there. But it looks safe. The coast is clear. There isn't anything else ahead of you, aside from this small room. It's big enough that it could fit a fair few people, but it's not quite big. It could fit all of you not so comfortably.
I'm going to take my shoe off and
And you're going to toss it where? Say again?
I'm going to toss it inside. See if
Okay.
anything happens.
You take your glass slipper. I don't know what kind of shoes you're wearing.
It's a Louboutin.
Okay, you toss your oh my god, we are tossing away quite a lot of money. We are tossing a Louis Vuitton shoe in...
Yeah, plenty, don't worry.
That's fair, that's fair. Are you bringing your entire shoe collection on this trip? Okay, anyway, you chuck your shoe into the room, and as it hits the floor with a... Nothing happens. The shoe sits on the floorboards in front of you, unperturbed.
I pick it back up.
But there is something that you do notice when you chuck it, as you pick it back up. As it does make its sound as it hits the floor, you do notice that it does hit floorboards. I want you to make for me an intelligence check with advantage.
With advantage?
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, it's a 10.
10. Okay. This will make up for your perception check earlier, because this
I'm gonna
information
get
that wasn't...
Ulster's dice.
Okay, go for it. I will wait for you to get Orster's dice. Meanwhile, the rest of you watching this are watching in awe, as this door doesn't make a sound at all, despite it being very, very rusty. Whatever has been used has been extremely effective, and smells quite lovely, filling the air with a nice sort of aroma, eliminating the musk that was previously filling the air. And Core, with your intelligence check, you do notice something that you didn't quite gain when you were looking before. With your perception check before, you were just a little bit distracted. But now, as you're taking a look around, you do notice that there are floorboards to this room. Whereas the rest of the room behind you, the floor was all it was all stony and made of stone. Stone-like floor, cobblestone even. So that's a bit strange that the floor would change a little bit past this door point. What that could mean, your intelligence check doesn't tell you any more than that. But that is something worth pointing out that is a bit strange. And you do notice that.
Can I know it's probably just a... Can I Arcana check?
You can Arcana check it, yes.
That's Ulster. Thank you. That is I believe it's 28.
28. Whew! Okay.
Yeah.
With your Arcana check, you feel the magical energy surging from within you and around you, with all your friends being magical creatures in themselves. From this door, and from this room, and from the bookshelves themselves, absolutely no magical aura emits at all. Everything around here seems to be either entirely non-magical, or mechanical, or just lacking in any sort of magic, which also gives you the idea that there's probably no magical traps either in the section.
I will convey that all and I'll say, I think we need to pry up floorboards or find some kind of hidden door. Saying.
A hidden door? What makes you think that, Core?
Look at
there
the ground.
aren't...
Now look at the ground in there.
Oh, that's a bit strange. Tamara says to you.
It is. Reading? Thoughts, feelings? Frowns?
Yeah, that's basically her expression. She's just staring at it like,
Oh, Core walks in the room.
Sorry. Just check. We're checking if this is a false floor, if we think it's a false floor.
That's up to you to check if you'd like to.
Because Jade would put himself forward to walk across it, because if it is false and there's a drop underneath it, he doesn't take a lot of falling. He can reduce his falling damage quite a lot.
Okay, so Jade, if you see Core heading forwards towards the room, are you going to be stopping Core?
Well, I would have said this during our preparation.
Okay, then you would overtake. You would step in front.
Yeah, I would just say I'm very good at falling.
Okay.
I can fly.
Jade, you step into the room, and for Judy, are you just having a look from just behind into the room as well?
she'll follow.
Okay. As you walk into the room, you do hear a sort of characteristic squeak and creak underneath you as you do walk in. The floor doesn't seem to give way, but as you kind of walk on it and the planks kind of make this sort of squeaky noise, you get the feeling that there isn't quite a lot of support underneath these floorboards from just that sound alone, without doing any investigating or anything like that. Looking around the rest of the room, the books also kind of all seem to look very similar to each other, almost like they're false books.
Does any of
Can I
this
start
look
feeling
familiar?
It does a little bit, Rodridi. It does a little bit. Who was the one doing the scrying a while back? It was you. Okay, Rodridi, this would look a little bit familiar to you. You've seen a sort of a similar facade of fake books before, and a hidden sort of passageway when you were scrying, I think. And there was something that stuck out to you in your scry, I think, if I remember correctly. I forget what was in the notes and what was in the session, but I'm pretty sure you would have seen something like a green book being pulled.
Yeah.
So with that knowledge in mind, if you're looking around with that in mind, looking around you, you do eventually come across what looks to be like a green book to your right along the wall, kind of hidden away, tucked out of plain sight, that doesn't seem to match the rest of these books, at least color-wise.
Drady will point it out to the rest of the group.
Okay.
Core yanks it.
You yank it? Okay, so in this room, I'm guessing it's Jade in the front, in the room, Core, you're right behind Jade, and Virginia, you're right behind Core. All in the room. Okay, and the rest of you are all standing behind. Okay. As you pull the book, yoink, there is a Looney Tunes-like moment where you'll have a moment to react with a dexterity saving throw if there's anything you'd like to do, but a trapdoor opens up beneath you, and you're momentarily suspended in midair before you realize that you're about to take a fall.
All of us?
Just the three of you who are in the room.
Yeah. Cool. Then I'm going to at some point. I see.
I'm just gonna start flapping my wings.
Drady's gonna wild shape.
Okay, you know what? I will attempt to grab Driti.
Okay.
Wait, no, Driti can transform.
Drady can wild shape.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're good, dude.
Sure.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's drop.
So, Virginie, first of all, what are you wild shaping into?
She's a Tressum. We've
You're
done
a
this
Tressum.
before.
Okay, cool. Core, you're flapping. You're fine. You're chilling.
Very.
You're in your zone right now. Jade?
I do fall.
Okay, where are you trying to catch Virginie? Or are you falling?
No. I was going to catch her in case she fell.
Oh, okay, I understand. So you are falling. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, but I can do it. When I get to the bottom, I can come back up because I can move up vertical surfaces.
Okay. As you begin to fall, you notice below you that it's a sort of a dark void as you fall. The rest of you, before we get into what Jade will see, to the rest of you, Jade disappears into a black void beneath you.
You see him take a stance before, like, just like ready to go down.
Jade,
Superhero landing.
you fall down, and you begin to fall through what seems to be like a shaft with books on either side. Who knows if they're real at this point, but you're falling. As you fall, you begin to feel the wall behind you kind of creeping up on you and start to push you. As you feel the shaft that you're falling down take a turn, and you're sliding down now at like a 45-degree angle, deep into the earth.
Down the shaft.
The rest of you hear, you guys have...
Core shrugs and just starts following Jade.
Okay,
Drady's following Core.
Alright. Are you guys sliding or are you guys
Welcome.
flying?
Flying.
Okay.
Same.
Mhm.
If there's anything invisible within 60 feet, Drady can now see it.
Ooh, okay. Hold on.
Also can sense poison.
You can sense poison, and if there's anything visible. Okay, hold on, let me check. There is definitely no poison nearby, but... Hold on, let me check something, because you guys are in an interesting spot. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Alright, so you begin to fly down into the shaft. Tamar, at this point, looks to Avarice and the others there. Well, I say the others there, but I think Alara is the only other companion with you. The three of them look at each other, shrug, and jump down. And so, you begin to make your way down this mysterious shaft, and you fall, or fly, down this shaft, which takes a lot of twists and turns, deep into the underground. Where it leads, nobody knows. But it is dark as you go. Do any of you have night vision or dark vision? Okay, for those of you who do...
Yes.
Yes? Okay. For those of you who do, you do see that there are books around you, and they seem to be these same sort of fake books that are, like, made to kind of fill a library. They're not real books, but they're sort of along the walls for whatever reason. And you fall, and you fall, and you fall, and you slide, and you fly. all the way down until eventually, Jade, you were first, rocketing in the lead. You were sliding down in stylistic fashion. Are you striking any poses as you're sliding down?
I'm just holding my same pose, just waiting for the end.
Okay. Eventually, it comes to a point where the shaft once again becomes very vertical. It's hard to tell exactly how long you fall for, or slide fall through.
How far am I going?
Well, this is like a funhouse slide almost, except it's completely in the dark and it's not quite as comfortable.
I can imagine Zexy color just sliding down every time.
Look, if you can build your own lair, how would you like to go to work? Fun slide is one option. But eventually, it does straighten out again, and you have a small fall at the end, which you won't take any fall damage from because it'll be less than 30 feet. You do end up in a room, as you see a light at the end of the tunnel. Jade, you emerge first. You are dropped into a pile of books that cushion your fall, and you are completely submerged by reading material. You are followed closely by...
On job every day.
I think you'd be followed by Tamar, then Alaria as well, and then Avarice, and then Cor and Virginia would glide in gracefully afterwards. But the rest of you, everybody who fell in would have been... It's kind of like a ball pit that you jump into, but it's balls.
I look at the reading material, hoping to find some cute new YA. It's all balls. Also because...
Well, if you like, that's something you could do. But the room that you get, and I'll get you all to roll a perception check for me. We'll do like a group sort of perception check as you all make your way into this new area. To have a look around. Perception. Unless there's also, you can also do any other checks if you'd like to. But
12.
12.
9, 8, 17.
17. Okay, 12, 17. And for Druidi,
25.
25. Ooh, perceptive. Okay. So, with your perception checks, you all have a look around this room that you've now found yourselves in. The other NPCs there, the other characters are also having a look around because this is kind of a strange place to find yourselves in. It is dimly lit, but it is lit. There are some candles along the wall that have been kind of strung up that are lighting the room, but there are only 2 in this room, so it is still quite dim and there are a lot of shadows and that sort of thing. So it is still a little bit hard to see. Not so much if you have night vision, but just in general. There are some dim areas in the sort of corners, but you find yourselves in a large rectangular room. How big it is, it's kind of hard to tell. It's quite big, but it's not furnished by anything. It seems like this is just a sort of area where loads of books and literature has just been dropped through this shaft, and it's filled out this entire room. It's hard to tell if there's a door anywhere here, because it seems that you're quite high up from where the floor in this room would be, indicating that this room might be kind of deeper than it looks. It's hard to exactly say, but it is completely full to the brim. It's like an ocean of reading material. All kind of these sort of tattered books that look like they might be old, used. I would say well-loved, but they're maybe a bit too well-loved at this point. Very old reading material that looks like it's been damaged or something like that. Hard to tell exactly what this room could be used for. Verdridi, with your slightly higher perception check, looking around the room, perceiving what you can, you do see that on the other side of the room, which is maybe about 60 feet away, you see the corner of a frame popping out from some of the books towards the corner of the room, ahead of you to the left a little bit. And that looks to you like something that might resemble a door frame, but it's just barely visible.
Drudy points this out to the rest of the group.
I will flutter over.
Right, Cor, you flutter over. Tamar pops out from the book C, gasping for air. Where are we?
Dramatic.
In a sea of books.
No, worst nightmare.
This is like a nightmare. He picks up a book and flips through it. He's looked damaged.
Kind of like where I...
Kind of like what? Say again.
Reminds me of it. Where I lived. It reminds me of... We had so many tomes in the temple.
You lived in a sea of books, Jade.
Well,
that's quite amazing.
After I sorted it out, it wasn't really a sea.
Okay. How long would it take to sort something like this out?
A week.
Yeah.
That's efficient. I admire that.
If you can be one thing, you should be efficient.
We'll be fabulous. Cora's already digging out books from around the door.
We'll be loyal.
as you dig out
Oh,
books from
beautiful.
around the door,
All right.
Avarice pops out as you
Splendid.
say, rich and splendid. Did somebody call for me? I am here. I was underneath the books the
Yes,
whole time.
you can help us dig out the books.
Alright, I'll come
Door.
help. And you all begin
I
shoveling.
think you'll find that Cord's talking about.
Oh. Well, regardless, I am at least a few of those things.
Maybe
She's not going to tell you which one.
Larry's also just sitting atop the books. She doesn't seem to be quite as submerged as some of the others. But you all go and you start, I'm guessing you're all digging around the door, trying to get more of a vantage point of what exactly it is that's attached to this frame. Is anybody else checking anything else out, or are you just all trying to do as much as you can to dig out this door?
this frame, did you?
It looks like the corner of a door frame. You can kind of see like my door over there. If you imagine like you can kind of see like that corner of the door, just like that corner there, it kind of looks like that hidden among the books.
I would try and stop moving, but as quickly as
Okay.
I will keep an eye out because I'm quite weak, so I'm just going to keep a general perception room.
Okay. If you are perceiving Vidridi, is this something you want to do?
Oh, I just realized that Drudy would have had to. Well, Drudy would have remained in the cat form because
Mhm.
she feels like it's more useful at the moment, and pause at the door rather than. So her quip at Ambrose was not actually.
Maybe Avarice
Because
just
I
imagined
just
it, I think.
realized she didn't shapeshift back. She's like, no,
Oh, okay.
this is useful because I can see invisible things, and if we're looking for things
And poison. Considering
and
you're...
poison, yeah,
That could be useful. Well, is it every kind of poison?
every kind of poison, poison.
Okay. So, as you're digging through, you're keeping your eyes out and your ears out just in case you come across anything a bit strange. As you dig, and you dig and you dig and you dig, you do eventually start to uncover what looks to be like the corner, or the tippity top corner of kind of an old, tattered door. Who knows where it might lead to? It's so mysterious and wonderful. But it takes you a while. There are a lot of books, and you got to kind of keep them from kind of falling back. You eventually come up with a sort of system to stack them in such a way where they kind of don't fall back into you, and you throw some further back, and you kind of make it work eventually. But in order to see how long it takes you, I would like you all to roll for me dexterity checks as a party, and we'll use that to determine how long it'll take you to move all these books out of the way of the door such that it's accessible and openable. If that's what you're
Yeah,
thinking.
not saving throw.
Even if we're not helping.
If you're not helping, you don't have to, but you can choose to help if you'd like to. You can roll.
I choose to be useless.
Second.
I choose to be useless and turn my eye on the.
Then you don't have to.
Because like he holds up his sparkly nails that he just did. He didn't actually have painted nails before. I can't, guys. I just look at. You wouldn't make, would you?
I would.
But yeah, just a check, not a saving throw, because it would be a saving throw if there was like a book avalanche happening or something like that, but just since you're just moving them away and you're just kind of shuffling and that sort of stuff, it'll just be a normal check.
17.
Sure.
17, pretty good. And Vidridi with your pawing.
It's a surprising dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay, your pawing is quite
Yeah.
effective. I'm like,
I was like, wow, Tressum are really dexterous.
alright, pretty good. Okay, so with your combined efforts, Jade and Vidridi, and Tamara's helping out as well, I'm gonna get him to roll. Avarice, I think, is just kind of, he's messing about a little bit, he's looking through the books, he's kind of curious to see.
He's even more.
Do you say that out loud?
No.
Okay.
I think we have.
Okay,
Pardon.
let's see. Tamar's actually doing pretty well. Okay, his dexterity is only +1. That's hilarious. Okay, Tamar does pretty well as well, so he's helping you out. With the three of you, you managed to get this door out within about an hour. Reasonably quick for how much book you have to move and how much paper is in your way. But eventually you get to a point where the door is completely uncovered. Core, what have you been doing this entire time?
I've been flitting around and perceiving.
Okay. Would you like to roll for me a perception check with advantage if you're
Maybe.
going to be looking around?
They're the exact same roll. It is a 15.
15, okay. As you're perceiving, what kind of stuff are you looking for? I'm guessing you're also looking for sound, or listening for sounds, smelling for smells. I don't think you're tasting anything necessarily, but what are you doing?
I think just anything interesting around the room, specifically anything threatening, I think you would be keeping an eye out for.
Okay, I'm guessing if you're looking for threatening things as well, maybe you're listening for stuff beyond the room as well, just in case, because you are sort of in this area that it seems to be used. With your perception check, you do gain a few things. First of all, looking at these books, it doesn't seem like they're very dusty, indicating that maybe they haven't been here all that long, or at least not the ones on the top. It's a seemingly fresh layer of books at the top. And as you've been moving them around, it's hard to tell whether or not the books below have been dusty as well. But it looks like this room does get used. The fact that it's also lit up by candles seems to support that fact as well. However, there is a point with your 15 that you do feel like you hear something on the other side of the wall that the door is on. But you can't quite tell if it's something you imagine or something you hear. But from what you can tell, you kind of hear a sort of shuffling from the other side of the room. Similar to the kind of shuffling that the books are making, that Jade and Richard is pouring and Tamara are doing to get the books out of the way. It's similar to that, but it seems like it's more muffled, like it came from the other side, but a bit further away. Although you're not 100% sure if that's what you heard. But that's kind of the sound you get an idea of. And you hear that towards the end of the books being moved once the door is almost completely visible.
Can I gauge if this shuffling sounds like it's coming from a humanoid or a large thing? Like how...
Ooh, not with a 15, I think. But
Intelligence?
you can try an intelligence check with disadvantage. Because that is a hard read on just the sound.
Well, I rolled very well, considering it's disadvantage. So it's going to be at disadvantage.
Did you say 17?
17 at disadvantage.
Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good. You run the sound back through your mind. You check your sound logs, your databases within your head to see if it matches anything. You run it through. The feeling you get is that there's maybe another person or humanoid figure on the other side of the room. It's also moved some books around. Or furniture or something like that. Since that shuffling kind of sounds like that. But you can probably rule out that it's not like a monster or some sort of creature rubbing against the door or like clawing at it.
People can be monsters too. Cor will flip back over and he'll just say, I think there's someone else on the other side of the door, so if we could be careful.
Avarice looks at you from the book pile. Should we stealth in that case?
Jade was going to actually say, I might be able to use my bracelet, considering it's a door. So I can peek through, see if there's another door within the vicinity, and instead choose to go through that door rather than this one. Technically, right? That's how it.
You can do that, I think, if you're using your pillar.
So if I use my pillar to go open this door, I can go to any point within how many feet? How many hundred?
I forget exactly. I think it was 500 feet.
500 feet. Okay.
But I forget if it was different for different pillars, but I remember that number.
So what I think I'll do is I'm going to look at the door and just try and see if I can find a crack or a like keyhole or something that I could peek through so that I could technically see into the room and get an idea of what's there, if there are any doors in there, and choose to see what's next.
Okay. Just looking at the door, I won't need you to roll for any perception checks, so I'll give you just for looking. There is light coming from beneath the door frame, which gives you the idea that maybe you can peek underneath the door and get just barely enough of a sight of what's beyond this room to see if you can
I do a
spot anything.
handstand.
Oh, okay, cool, okay. So you do a handstand, you look through. Now, I want you to roll for me a perception check with disadvantage because you're looking into the other room underneath the door. The sneakiest peek.
The first one is Dirty 20. The second one is 7 plus 8. 15.
15, okay. You do that faster. Whenever it's 7s and 8s together, my mind just decides to shut off.
Brain takes a moment.
Yeah.
It does.
What did you say it was again? I've already forgotten. 7 plus 8.
15.
15. With a 15, you peek beneath the door and you kind of look around. And as much as you can gain, you see that this room ahead of you is well lit. Much more well lit than the room that you're currently in. Like, there's a lot more light. Maybe it's a little bit more used. And you see a few things. You see ahead of you what looks to be like a distant door frame on the other side of whatever room this is that you can see from your current vantage point, which indicates that directly opposite this door, it's probably less than 500 feet away, you can see another door. In this room also, you do see, just barely out of the peripheral vision, there are piles of books lined against the wall to your side, into the room where you can't see. But you do see a footprint, or not a footprint, you see a foot in walking motion just disappear around a corner, kind of further away behind a book pile.
How large is this?
Humanoid size. You get maybe a size
So,
10
like,
in
Carol?
10 in Australian shoe size. Wait, what do you
Was it a
say?
spooky?
Does it look like a Caloral foot or a Zeph's?
Okay, I think that you could probably... Okay, here's what you could gain. It looks like the footwear is very dark, very edgy.
Sneaker?
It's kind of...
Oh, it's Legion.
Getting a cameo
Dark,
appearance.
Dark and edgy.
Dark and edgy.
Caloral.
Caloral.
A moment later, you see the edge of a cape swoosh by.
Caloral.
Caloral. I will then instead,
Let's get him.
and I'll say to Call specifically, when is a door not?
I don't know this one.
When?
It's a trick question. Never. Door is always a door. That's what I know.
No, it's.
Oh.
It's when it means more than that.
Oh.
Call, Caloral is on the other. If you want to speak.
Well, Caloral isn't really Caloral, are they? So,
No, exactly.
do we have any plan to restrain Caloral?
I can stun them.
Tamara pulls out an axe.
Nope. No,
No.
he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He puts
I
it
need
back.
because-
closure, so I don't want to kill Caloral and just,
Wait, I just remembered. Did Vidri take his axe?
Vidridi stole
Yes!
his axe. Yes.
Okay, he reaches for an axe. And then he feels that it isn't there, and he just makes it look like he was scratching his side. No. I don't have a plan.
we can stun Caloral.
And
I'm sure we
Avra
could
comes
work.
in with our stunning good looks. I agree. I like the plan.
Well, considering I am the only stunningly good-looking person here and we're related, that will not be happening. So I
Avra's-
like the idea of Jade.
Avarice
Jade
falls over at
Brown.
that.
I like the idea of Jade's. Paul was obviously joking, but is Jade it?
No. Jade frowns. I can do. As I was interrupted.
Suddenly, I would like you to all roll for me dexterity saving throws.
Oh, bloody hell. I choose to.
You choose to succeed? Okay. And Vidri... Wait, hold on. Are you flying right now?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to roll it.
I'm also flying.
Never mind, you don't have to roll it either. Anybody who's grounded has to roll it, though.
19.
19? Great. Tamar, how will you do? Tamar, why do you do me like this? Why?
Why are you doing that just tomorrow?
Why? My boy, why do you have to do this? Okay, what about Avarice? Will Avarice do better? Please, somebody make me proud. Avarice, you did even worse. What about Ilaria? Ilaria's looking fabulous. Okay,
Good job, Laura.
you feel... Well, a couple of you don't. Jade, you feel the ground shake beneath you a little bit. But with your 19, you managed to hold yourself still. You've been through more than an earthquake in your life, and you feel that this is kind of similar to that. The ground shakes, the books kind of start tumbling a little bit. Tamar falls over as he tries to hold the books tumbling back. Avarice has already fallen over and he's just rolling around on the floor. Ilaria is doing alright. She's holding the books back from kind of tumbling towards you, and you're mostly fine. Avarice makes a sort of dramatic gesture. I've been hurt. But from the other side of the door, in the other room, you hear a...
1 minute.
1 minute? Go,
Oh,
we
we
can...
missed it.
How about we take
guys-
a quick break?
Thomas, do you want to meet Laz?
Do I want to what?
Meet Laz.
Yes, I want to meet Laz, of course. Who in their right mind would say no to that offer?
So if we're gonna take a quick break, Emma, you're muted.
Okay, the Lily mic setup won't work if we're being brought around. Room tour! House tour. So we're in the bathroom, I think. Okay. Oh! Oh, cute! Oh, look at his little face! Oh, look at his whiskers. It's Les. Oh my god, the duo. Oh, look at his little paws. He's doing a stretchy stretch. Oh my god! He's cute. Very slender. It's cute. Oh my god. Did you all meet Laz in the DCE session? Oh my god. Where'd he go? He zipped away. Zoom. This is the best break ever.
Yeah, but I don't want to miss cat time, but I'm also like, but I have to use the restroom too.
I also do. Okay, we should all take a leap. Oh!
Baby, look at that baby.
So fuzzy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, precious. Oh, he's cute. I love them both so much. I will die for both of them. Alright, quick break time. We'll be back in some amount of minutes. Oh wait, my mic's not muted in the recording. Okay, wait, I'll fix this.
Lazo. Yeah. No. Lazo. You're very overattached.
I'm so sorry, baby. Can't let you have this.
What's wrong? Baz? Oh, it's not for you, Baz. I'm right here.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, honey. Oh, it's shut.
Yeah. Oh, he's so hiding. Hi, baby. Oh, where is he? That's yeah. There's one missing.
Oh no. Am I missing?
D20.
So am I. For fuck's sake, Baz. No, one. Yeah, I've got all mine. Baz has stolen a D20, so everyone's aware. Again.
He'll probably know where it is.
Baz, where is it? Criminal! Come here! Come here! Come on! Criminal. Criminal.
Oh, what a
Behind you,
baby.
laying on the floor, underneath the radiator. Thank you. It's criminal behaviour.
Criminal behaviour. He's like, no, but I'm so cute. You could never
It's true.
do anything. Never do anything to discipline me. Because I'm so fluffy and soft and lovely.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that right, Mummy?
Is this correct? Correct.
He is very cuddly.
Oh,
Wait,
that
wait.
face.
That's fine. I'm sure.
Can we just restart?
Yes.
Download time.
I have it on Spotify.
And play it on Spotify. Fancy.
The vanilla milk tea tastes oolong with milk foam.
Also, I'm catching like every other word that y'all are saying. Is
We're
there
just
any way else?
muttering because we're not playing.
Okay.
We're not raising our voices though. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
Baz is having a step because we just gave Laz his food with his antibiotic, and he's not happy because he's wondering why he doesn't get a second meal. Don't know if you can hear it. Emma just put Tesha and Mutner on in the background.
Cannot hear it at all, no.
It's so good.
But he's happy now, as you can see.
Yep, he has been mollified.
Bouncing the baby.
Oh!
That face. Oh my goodness. Such a baby.
You like to be bounced?
Oh! It's so fun. He smells so good!
He smells better than Laz.
That makes sense. Just when they sick, they
Laz
don't
was
smell good.
Laz came from a cattery that had a lot of cats in it, I think, so.
Yeah, but so did Baz, but I think
But like, she
had a lot
wasn't
of-
really, she wasn't really, you know.
Baz's breeder obviously like went above and beyond to make sure these cats were pampered. That's why he's such a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
As they should
Yeah,
be.
no.
He is. But he's so happy. You know, he's just sleeping.
Mhm.
Having a little nap. Nap on mummy. It's your favourite place to nap, isn't it? Especially when we're not trying to do things.
Ain't that just the
No,
way?
you are my you are my chair. Your chair. He's getting really big.
Yeah.
Like he's already grown so much since like we first saw him.
Yeah. He's a big, chunky lad.
He really is.
Not as big as Laz.
But only like half a kilogram. Ooh! Hang on. We should see if there's a Black Friday deal for a horse or
Oh. Alright, Baz, I'm going to put you down.
a Black Friday deal. Yeah.
really hard to put him down.
You have to.
Look.
You can pass them to me.
You
I've got my dice. You don't have to put them down if you don't want.
Yeah, but I want to play D&D and I can't play it back here.
I can play.
Turn it off. Oh. He's just napping. He's purring. He rattles.
Oh.
Hi, Thomas.
Hello.
Hello, Gemma.
I have been blessed by the sight of Laz.
Yeah.
There's
another one.
So fluffy. Is another whole one. Another entire unit.
Yep. This is a big unit.
He's so soft.
He thinks he's the center of the universe.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's figured it out.
I'm gonna put him down. But you say, hello. Hello, everybody. It's just me. The center of the universe.
Oh,
Blessing you.
The center is so fluffy. It's so cute. I'm gonna die. Okay.
Ah.
Well, continuing on for a brief little while, because we'll probably end within about 20 minutes from now.
Okay.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I can.
Oh.
Yeah, I can usually only run the session till about 6:30 a.m. for me,
Okay.
as long as that's okay. But it's more content spread further apart. Ooh.
Probably means we won't finish next.
No.
It's probably third from last, but at the very
If you're
least,
going to spread it out, I think just spread it out as much as it needs to be spread. Don't limit it.
yeah, I'm not rushing anything, but I'm just trying to make sure that it's not going to come up as like a surprise. But I don't think it will, obviously, because it'll be like, there'll be shiny lights, spotlights, the crowd will be cheering. But anyway,
So,
continuing on, you hear a from the other side of the room. Sounds like, my impression isn't so great, but sounds like a lot of books and maybe a case or two have fallen in the other room. Now, in this room that you've been in, it's been like a sea of books. That's kind of remained sort of stable. It's not like there's a lot of things that have been stacked very high that can topple over. You're kind of in a sea of books, and you've kind of dug a sort of trench around where the door is. But on the other side of the room, or on the other side of the door, I should say, on the other side of the wall, seems like there's been a bit of a fall.
Okay, let's get through that door.
okay. Do you want to skip this room or do you want to meet him? Jade is asking.
Well, we came here to face.
Read it. Jade will open.
Okay.
He'll do it stealthily, but only so that Cor can start this on his own.
Okay, you do it stealthily. How are you opening the door? I know you're doing it stealthily, but give me a sort of visual. What? How's
I'm
Jade going
going
about
to
it?
sort of, I'm going to use Cor's special sheath package to lubricate the handle so it doesn't squeak at all. Lubricate the edges again, and I'm going to just slide it open very gently slide, and then step aside and let Cor.
In hindsight, I don't know if I'm so happy I asked about the details anymore, but we make it to the other side. The door is open. It doesn't make a sound. It slides open smoothly. And you are greeted by the sight of a smaller room than the one that you came from. A little bit smaller. It's more of a square shape. You've got a few shelves on the sides. It looks like a lot of books have been dropped from the shelves onto the floor by the force of the earthquake that's just passed by. And seems like a couple shelves have fallen over in this room. Now, Jade, when you peeked through underneath this door before, you did see that there were what looked like to be like the bases of stacks of books that were stacked from the ground to somewhere higher. A lot of these stacks, if not all of them, have kind of fallen over and tumbled. Looking around, as you take in the sight of this room, it is a lot more well lit than the previous room. There is a sort of a chandelier-like candle sort of fixture in the center of the ceiling of this room. Cor, yes.
I think I should probably specify this just before we go in and describe the whole room. Considering the way Calarel has acted towards Cor, to protect himself, Cor is going to cast Mislead.
Say again, because you
Before
cut
they go
out as soon as you said it.
He's going to cast Mislead.
What does
So
that mean?
Mislead, for an hour, Paul will become invisible, but an exact double of him will appear and act exactly like him.
Okay.
That's cool. Okay. All right.
So he's putting himself in Calarel's direct line of fire, but it looks as if he's there with the party as
Okay.
Okay.
and he can speak. He can speak through this double and act through this.
Okay. So all the sound comes from the double.
Yeah. So
Alright.
the double is essentially,
Okay. And I'm
and he'll be
guessing.
using that. He'll use that to speak.
Okay. I'm guessing also that for Dridi, you'll be able to see the original core too.
Yep, because he's invisible.
Okay. So you
Yes.
see both as well in that case. Now, as you scan the room, you do see.
Jade is going to stand behind the new duplicate, protectively put a hand on his shoulder.
Okay. Tamara's going to be there as well, hand by his side as if ready to unsheath an axe that he doesn't currently wield, but he's there. Avarice is a bit further behind, and Ilaria is there by your side too, Jade. As you scan the room, you do see kind of ahead of you, in the corner of the room, off to the side, not near any sort of specific door. There is the door opposite you, and then there's another door directly to your right, kind of in the other corner of the room. In the corner of the room, that's kind of ahead of you to the right, where there isn't any door, but a bunch of shelves where a shelf has fallen over, you do see underneath that there is a figure that's been slam dunked by the bookshelf currently. You can see a pair of legs protruding out from underneath the bookshelf. They're not currently moving. But there is no signs of
Hey.
blood.
Let's go lift the shelf off.
Okay. Jade will kind of join with Tamar and do it.
Alright, I need you to make a strength saving throw for me.
Saving? Hello.
Because we are saving somebody. In it.
18. That's funny. 24.
24. And I'll get Tamar to do it as well. Oh, Tamar is good with strength. And it's
Oh, well done.
it's a 22 on his side. Just for fun. So they're both these boys pull this shelf up, leaving all the books strewn about on the floor and on top of this figure who we haven't yet identified. It may or may not be Calarel. We're suspecting that it might be because there seems to be a sort of dark cloak as well. It seems to be protruding from this pile of books that's currently covering them. But as you push this bookshelf back up against the wall, you are left with a pile of books covering an unidentified humanoid creature. Face
Grab this.
down. You're pulling them out?
Yeah.
Okay, Cor, I need you to make me a strength check.
It's a 19.
19?
Minus 1. Minus 1, 18.
18?
Hard to
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good, pretty good. As you pull,
She dies always.
as you pull, you do manage to completely, I was gonna say excavate, but that's probably not the right word. You extract, that's the right X word. You extract the apparently knocked out individual out from under this pile of books that's on the floor now. They're face down, and they're wearing a
Flip
hooded
them over.
cloak. You flip them over,
And take
and it appears to be somebody who looks a lot like Calarel, although a lot more like somebody that you might recognize, Cora, right now in this knocked out state. Little less ghostly than Calarel usually appears.
Okay. I'm gonna smack their cheek.
Okay, you smack their cheek, and nothing happens.
Can I listen for a heartbeat?
Okay, you lean close, and you listen for a heartbeat. And you do hear one. You hear a... Not quite, but you hear you hear a heartbeat. You get the
I'm
feeling
gonna Sorry.
You get the feeling that it's not necessarily a naturally induced sleep that they're in. Having, having been extracted from underneath a bookshelf.
My double will straighten up and look at Drudy and say, "Any medicinal thoughts, feelings, frowns?"
Can I do a medicine check to see like what Yeah, I know I'm a cat, but it's like you can still look somebody over and be like, "Hey,
You
this
can do
person
a
is
general. I mean, you still have your knowledge, regardless of your
Yeah.
physical form. So I will let you do that.
27."
27. Okay, you're going around. You're checking for pulses. Little paw over here, little paw over there, and you get the feeling that this individual, which you're referring to Calorel appears to be completely knocked out. So not in the sense of like, asleep or anything like that. Calorel's not going to be dreaming, but the force of the hit from the bookshelf seems to have done a number. Calorel's not looking too great, not bleeding or anything like that, no external wounds as far as you can tell, but the hit of the bookshelf, it seems like, was enough to completely knock Calorel out. On top of that, just from your medicine check continuing over, you do get the feeling that Calorel was already probably in some sort of physically weakened state before getting hit by the bookshelf itself, indicating that that might have been part of the reason why Calorel was completely knocked out by it.
But they seem stable.
Yeah. It seems like that,
Okay.
given enough time, they'll probably come to, although with probably a fair deal of pain. No broken bones or anything, though, as far as you can see.
Gritty just kind of like, if a cat could shrug.
I can imagine it.
To see this
Sorry,
like
Brad,
tress
that's
of
going absolutely not.
When you want to be in view. When he
Is he in the box?
Yep.
loves those boxes.
Oh.
boxes are like the best cat toy.
They really. I'm gonna sit like this so you can see.
I've seen so many memes of like buying your cat like a brand new toy. You toss the box
It's a
aside
box.
and you put the toy there, and they end up playing with the
It's the
box
box.
instead. It's so true. My mom owns cats and they do the same thing. It's so funny to me. But boxes are cool.
I love them. So
Avarice looks at you at this point, Core, and looks back at the body and back to you. This is rather awkward.
it is quite awkward. Oh well, Jade, can we tie him up?
Jade has learnt a lot in the last, and now is proficient in tying people.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I probably won't ask for any tying details, but you tie Calorel up to the point where he'll be restrained.
And I'm gonna shove a piece of cloth in their mouth, just so they can't cast verbal spells.
Ah, okay, smart. Okay. Are you tying around like a bandage around their head?
I'm shoving a bit of cloth in their mouth and then tying it to make sure that it's difficult to dis-
Okay. Cool.
And I'm going to turn to Avros. Avros, would you mind just healing if there's any major injuries?
He nods. And
Without
Avarice-
waking them up.
Let's find out. Avarice is going to, hilariously enough. Wait, what? Okay, Avarice does not have all his HP. Only a little bit is missing, but he does have most of his spell slots. Interestingly enough, I guess because we haven't slept yet since we left the. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I can try to do what I can, and he'll hold up his hand, and he won't cast a spell yet. He'll look back to you, Core. How much do you want me to heal them?
I look at Dreedy and I'm like, give me a scale of like 1 to 5 how injured they are, and then I'll communicate that to Avros. Just tap your paw the times. 5 being real bad, 1 being fine.
It's
Based on my 27.
based on your 27, you get an extremely accurate read. Probably around half health at this point. So fairly low, in a way.
Gritty taps 3 times on
Okay.
the invisible core.
Okay, so around, I don't know, quite a fair bit.
Alright, I'll do a lot of healing then. And you see a sort of magical surge come from Avarice's single hand as he attempts to heal Calorel. And he's going to roll this. Let's see. Boom. Alright, cool. So this will be... Let me roll some dice to make a prediction here. Okay, this is going to be that. That is a horrible roll followed by awesome roll. Followed by... That, which is... That's 6 plus 8 is 14 plus 5 is 19. Okay. Avarice manages to do a fair bit of healing. And as he does this, he steps away. And he steps back to your doubles side core. Now, Core, where are you standing? Like, where's the real you standing right now?
The real core is standing a little bit away from what's happening.
You've got kind of piles
I
of
don't
books
have
and
a
other
map.
shelves and stuff. If you'd like to kind of hide behind something, there'll be an opportunity to do so if you'd like to be out of the way.
The real core is probably about as far back. How big's the room?
The room looks like it's about 50 by 50 feet. It's not very big.
He's about 30 feet away from Calrell, whereas his double's standing right.
Okay. So you're pretty much on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's concerned about his safety.
Okay. At this point, Calrell, question mark, begins to come to. And he looks at all of
Jake's
you.
going to hold the stunning strike in case he tries to cast any spells, just so you know.
Okay. And there's a sort of tired, but strangely familiar gaze that comes over their face. Calrell's face. A look of familiarity in terms of emotion. One of confusion. And uncertainty. Unlike Calrell. That being said, their visage is a bit different, though, to how they usually look. The ghostly white sort of visage that you've seen of parts of Calrell's face. Not quite so. Instead, it's a little bit more translucent almost. Crystal-y like. Sparkly.
Can I insight check Calrell?
Okay, you can insight check. What are you looking for?
I want to make sure that this seems to be Calrell, and if Calrell seems to be in brainwashed mode or Luciano mode.
Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, go for it.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. You've grown accustomed to brainwashed mode. This does not seem like that. At least for the time being. Verdridi, yes.
Can I Arcana check Calrell? Because, I don't know, this is the weird sparkly kind of gem-like quality seems weird.
Okay, go for it.
Jam? Are we describing it as jam-like?
Gem-like.
Like,
They appear to be covered in a strawberry jam-like substance. It's good for the skin. Who knows?
Hell yeah. 15 plus 3, 18.
18. Okay, hold on. Let me really quickly pull something up in my notes. Because this will be relevant. Okay. As you do your check. You say it was an 18?
Yep.
Arcana check?
Yep.
Okay. You get a strong, but not very large magical aura emanating off Calrell right now. There's an extremely powerful abjuration type of magic emanating off of Calrell right now. But it doesn't reach very far. It seems to just kind of be like almost like a... Yes.
Can I investigation check the living body that is...
Sure. Is there anything you're looking for?
I'd like to see if there's any weird things, like, say, a crystal heart or...
Okay. This will be
something,
interesting.
do a little, like scent-based act, or just really perception check.
You can investigation or perception if you'd like to. You're right up close, so if you're doing either, I'll let you do it with advantage, especially considering that Calrell right now is completely and utterly unable to move, really. So either one will be with advantage. But
I will be like a cat acting like a ferret, just getting into everything.
God, very. That's literally
That's Laz, yeah.
Laz basically is a meerkat situation.
Oh.
Where he's like,
okay. There are a couple of... I will also just say before you continue that there are a couple of other sort of schools of magic that you feel. One of which is slowly getting stronger as you're waiting here, but slowly. You get a very, very weak sort of transmutation school of magic kind of vibe as well. And an enchantment sort of magic as well. That it feels like it's getting stronger very slowly. But speeding
It's
up.
24.
24 investigation. Okay. You're doing a pat down, seeing if there's anything that you can find on Calarel's person that might seem to be of interest or anything like that. There is something that you do find, one of which is a completely ordinary and very, very rusty dagger. Doesn't look like it's been used for any sort of stabbing or anything like that, but it is.
Does it seem like a ritual dagger?
Maybe. It does seem a little bit like it could be used in a spell.
Gertie kind of like basically pauses out, kind of kicks it over to the, people who are people right now.
I think Ilaria
everybody in the room.
Ilaria would pick it up with a sort of puzzled look on her face. But outside of that, you wouldn't really find anything else.
No magic items, no...
The only thing that Calarel seems to be equipped with right now, as far as your investigation goes, because you did roll really highly, and the most interesting / suspicious item, I guess, is the sort of dark cloak that seems to shroud Calarel with a sort of unnatural, almost shadow.
Can I take the cloak off them?
That all depends on how Calarel is currently tied. I'm gonna have to look to the other players depending on how... If Calarel is just tied up, I don't know if you'll be able to remove it.
It's a
And if Calarel...
Shibari with the release, which is only accessible through, so he can't.
Okay, so if Calarel is tied up like that, then you will not be able to remove the cloak unless you're trying to destroy the cloak while removing it, or tearing it into smaller pieces.
Gertie's gonna claw at the cloak.
Okay, as you do, there is an interesting sort of effect that you see happen, which is that it seems that, even though you're clawing quite a bit, and you've clawed a little bit in your life...
Not a little bit, just like, it's experimental clawing,
okay.
like...
With the experimental clawing...
What is going on here?
The fabric doesn't seem to fray or give way at all as you attempt to scratch and pull at it. Which is definitely unnatural. You feel, as you're doing this, like your claws and your paws are kind of... They're pressing up against the cloak, and you're making a scratching motion. But it's almost like there's such a small barrier between you and the cloak, and you kind of glide off of it. Unnaturally so. It doesn't feel like a fabric when you do that.
Can I ask a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming this is Calarel, does Calarel have any reaction to seeing Core?
Calarel, right now, looking at you, seems like they're recovering from almost a sort of daze. And they're just kind of looking around the room, not looking at anyone in particular. But if you're looking for that, there is kind of a point where Calarel's eyes kind of lock onto you a little bit, with a sort of puzzled expression. But Calarel right now seems to be a bit too dazed to kind of move too much. It doesn't appear that Calarel's resisting much at all in this state.
Okay, I want to try something, but I want to preface what I'm going to try with, I don't want anyone to make a connection with the previous storyline that we were going. So I'm just going to put a small trigger warning there. Paul is going to momentarily turn into Zar and see if there's any reaction from Calarel.
Okay.
Because he wants to know if this is actually Calarel, and he assumes that person would get the reaction.
Okay. As you do that, first of all, Core, I would like you to describe how you now look.
Okay.
Because it'll be the first time that we're all seeing this.
Yeah, it'll be the first time you see Zar, who is Core's other parent. Looks similar in tone to a grey elf, except with very shimmery, silvery hair that has the kind of iridescent quality of Core's kind of eyes and skin. Quite short and has lots of little gems set into the skin under their pure silver.
Okay.
Obviously a change.
Yeah. As you do that, Calarel appears to have a sort of slowed but noticeable reaction. First, kind of not understanding what's going on, and then a sort of look of shock. And then a tear, and then a couple, and then a few more. Although Calarel still seems like they're a bit dazed and a little bit out of it, Calarel's definitely reacting.
Can I just confirm, before this, Calarel hadn't really had any kind of reaction to seeing Core.
Well, Calarel was kind of a little bit dazed looking at Core with a sort of a look of confusion. But Core, how do you look right now? Or how did you look
Well,
before you transformed?
How did he look before he transformed?
Mm-hmm.
Paul looked like Paul. Don't think he'd be hiding his appearance. I think he'd have his wings. He'd have his very fairy-like appearance, but obviously mixed with changeling. So kind of like the arts that recently. Baz is going absolutely mad, so it's really ruining the moment. Baz.
But I will.
Yes.
I will also point out.
He's like a rocket.
Newman.
What?
Johnson. Oh,
He's done that to me before. He just goes.
wait.
Anyway.
He jumped at me like this.
Psycho.
Oh! Hello! Oh! He's fuzzy.
Okay, please continue.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I will remind everyone that also core, and you would all come to a realization as well, I think, or you would kind of understand this a little bit. You've probably looked quite a bit different the last few times you've interacted with Calarel, as you've been in disguise almost every other time. Additionally, the last time you were with Eliciano in
Very big.
familial contexts would have been quite a long time ago. So you probably have a lot more of an idea of how Eliciano looks now, because Eliciano isn't really aging much. Yeah. Whereas you've aged, changed, transformed, and disguised yourself quite a lot over the course of the campaign.
Point.
So there's nothing to say that Eliciano would recognize you immediately if presented by you, let alone in this state. So I will just put that out
Probably
there.
just freak out at the wings. Just
That's actually a question. Does Eliciano even know that you have wings?
I think Eliciano would know that Core would inherit that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going off that logic, Eliciano would probably fairy, and that's not good news to Eliciano.
Mm.
So I don't know. That's up to you. But Core has transformed him to get the reaction.
Okay. Well, that's the kind of dazed reaction you get, but Calarel, question mark, does seem to have quite a strong, although slowed reaction to your transformation.
Okay. Core will get his
Half
double to
weeping, half kind of moving around a little bit, as if in discomfort, being tied up.
Mm-hmm. Core will walk over to Eliciano / Calarel.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna use one of either and transform back in.
Mm-hmm.
And just say, I think we got him.
At this point, it seems like Eliciano has a sort of reaction to you transforming back with a sort of surprised shock expression. But it looks like Eliciano is trying to say something through the cloth.
I will pull it out for 1 second. If I hear a spell, I'm going to put it right back.
Okay. And this is probably...
I
I don't know if I'm going to do it here, if I'm going to end after this for like the cliffhanger effect, but you hear this. And Rodridi and all of you feel a sort of... Okay, Rodridi, you were checking earlier. You feel that enchantment magic grows stronger over time, but it hasn't quite gotten too powerful. And
so she's actually, she's giving into the catness of this cloth is weird.
Okay.
And I'm gonna fuck with it.
Okay.
And continues.
Yeah.
You're fucking with it.
Like she's biting it and like messing with it and just.
Okay. You hear this as you move the cloth. Core, hide from me quickly. Hide.
Core will put the cloth back and he will get his double to hide.
Okay. And as you do, you feel a sort of magic kind of come over the room. As it seems there's a sort of spell that seems to start to overtake Eliciano. The glittery sort of skin that they had before starts to turn more opaque and more ghostly. And it's here that I think we'll put a bookmark in the session. We'll have to continue next time to find out what's going on. What the hey? But it seems like we're heading into some dangerous territory. Whew. How are you all feeling?
I am scared.
I am scared, but I am excited.
Okay. Tress and Verdridi? Tress and Verdridi, how are you?
Dirty. I am a useful little cat with wings.
Yes, you are.
I think also at the mention of that statement, I think that Alaria, Tamar, and Avarice would have all taken the opportunity to hide as well behind either the books or around the bend, behind the other door in the previous room. Before he
Calarel's just on the floor, tied up, gagged. Like, how did I get here?
We'll have to see what happens. But okay, with that, that's where we'll end the session. I'm sorry that it's sort of a weird and awkward point, but it'll be fun to continue from here and see where we are, and it'll be interesting to find out. But okay, ahead of time, does this session time work for you all in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah. I have 5:15 on Sundays, but I should be able to hop.
What do you have on Sundays again?
I finish work at 5:15 on Sundays, which means I usually get home around 5. So
it's Monday.
Oh, you don't want to do Sunday anymore?
I might not be able to, because for the next 2 weeks I have to do full-time work. So
next week, no, because we have to take lads to the vet.
Next week, next week's fine. I mean, in 2 weeks from now.
We're off next week, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll double check everything, but by then my roster might be back to normal again. But
I mean, worst case, we can just recalibrate. I'm sure we can find a time where we can play for an hour at least.
Yeah. I'd like Sunday or.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Yeah.
We'll work it out. I'm excited for the.
Yeah. I'm so sorry that it's like hectic right now. It's just.
That's alright.
It's gotten intense, but lots of love to all
We'll
of you.
see you. So we're doing 2 weeks from now or a week from now?
2 weeks from now, as always.
Okay.
Also, when is the next? Do we have a date for the next DC?
There's a makeup game for the one that we missed as well. So if you want to do an extra game at some point as well, I think that could be fun.
Oh, for the DC.
No, for Shiny Boys, we missed one.
Oh, of course. Okay. Yeah, I can try work that out. I'll let you know, because I do have.
Well, maybe we can. So consecutive weeks.
I was just gonna say, Thomas, because we don't have Anna involved, if there's any time you would rather play like at a different hour, like just tell us, because if we have the day off and Aylin's able, we can probably work.
Yeah, I might be able to even start like an hour earlier, because I usually try to go to bed around 7 a.m. so that I can get to work by midday. But
I mean, if we could game from like 5 to 8 rather than 6 to 8, I think that.
Yeah, we can get a little more time in. I think we could try to do that. Yeah, I'll make sure that works. And also, if it's on a day that I have, if my work shift doesn't start as early during the same day, then we can also maybe stretch it like an hour longer or something like that. So I might have a day like that. But okay,
sounds good.
Before we go, when is the next DC session?
Tuesday. So not tomorrow. Next
week on Tuesday.
Usual. Yeah, we're doing the usual.
Easy.
Adjusted it because of scheduling and because we could play with children.
It will usually be on Tuesday because that's the day I've taken off work. Oh.
Yeah, that's my that day, and I think one other day I have off, which I think is Sunday. I think for me.
We'll be starting because my uni is finishing. Hang on, let me just.
I will have to take a week off
because my uni is finishing. From I won't have any more rotations to do. We'll start around 10, so we have a bit more of a lie-in a little bit later in the evening for you guys, but not too much. Actually no, sorry, time difference.
Oh yeah, we had daylight savings. Hold on, what is 10 a.m.?
What what game time be for you?
It'll be too late. I
That's too
think
late.
if we start at 9, then it'll be 8 p.m. for
We'll be
them.
starting at 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
I just wrote 10 a.m. to AU as if Google would know what I'm asking it. 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Thanks to colonialism, probably it will.
10 a.m. is 9 p.m. Okay, 10 a- I mean,
We
if you guys
do-
want to get up at 10, that still
Maybe
works for me.
nine- Anna, maybe doing 9
That's very
AM
yeah,
UK.
yeah.
p.m.
8 p.m.
UK.
Yeah, if we're starting, hold on, 9 a.m. is 8 p.m. for me.
And then we'll
That gives me like
usually go
four.
on
That gives me like 4.5 hours of
a
playtime easily.
little bit of fasting time on either end of that. So just have that whole chunk of the evening free.
Yeah. All right. All good. So Tuesday next week.
Yeah, that's the 20. That's the 30th
Cool.
of November. Oh my god.
We're getting close to the end of the year. Oh my god.
Another year, another D&D.
Yeah.
Oh, also, none of the holidays fall on D&D days.
Yay!
Cool.
Ooh.
So you don't miss any. Well, unless we maybe I don't know if anybody is playing a D&D game on the 27th, because that's a bank holiday in the UK. So sometimes people still have Christmas stuff going on. But the 28th, I'm happy. I'm happy to keep playing on that in December. But if you have any scheduling conflicts, let me know as soon as you can, so that we can reschedule it. Because I don't want to cancel any games if we can help.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's all G.
Sweet.
But okay. Lots of love. Appreciate all of you for making it. Love you so much. I can't wait to see the next bits. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.